it ties in with like there was a point in time where we realised we knew all the Victorian classics, but we never really looked at the stuff before it. A lot of which was Gothic, and then I read a couple, and then you picked this random book which perfectly fits in with that theme. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. So of course the main one is Udolpho, but this one comes very soon after, within 10 years after. Udolpho seems to have come out around the same time that Jane Austen was born, which is an interesting thing as well. So this one came out before Jane Austen. You can even see on the top here it says Northanger Novels. Did you ever read Northanger Abbey?
I did. It was the good one that she did.
Oh, interesting. So it's mentioned in there with the horrid books. Castle of Wolfenbach, Clermont, Mysterious Warnings, Necromancer of the Black Forest, Midnight Bell, Orphan of the Rhine, and Horrid Mysteries.
Remember, folks, the only good Jane Austen is when she just copied the Gothic writers and didn't write a Jane Austen novel.
All right. I don't know when her first book was, but this one came out in 1798. And I think her first one came out in 1796. So, what's interesting with this is that the entire plot is in this paragraph. So I read that, and I'm like, well, that should just be volume 1. No.
That's it.
That is the entire novel, except there is so much that goes on in this. Okay. So you always think about some of those really bad Gothic ones where it's just, they're in a castle and nothing happens.
Yes.
Things do happen in this.
Good, because a lot of the time things don't happen.
A lot of the time things don't happen. The most refreshing thing about this is that they are well-written female characters.
For that time period.
For that time period, it's amazing. It passes the Bechdel test, I'm pretty sure. Like, they're not talking about men for sometimes... For the first half of the book, they're like 3... There's a fourth male character, except he's not there at that time.
Okay.
For the most part. He's there in the first 20 pages, and that's her father. So our main character is Madeline. Her father is known as Clermont. We don't really get a first name, but her name's Madeline Clermont.
Okay.
And she just lives off out in a cottage by herself with her father, and that, her father seems to be some sort of doctor almost. Basically one guy gets hurt, and he has to help make sure that he survives. So he basically owes his life to him, and turns out he's he's a chevalier, essentially. So that's nice. Also, Madeline falls in love with him immediately.
Of course,
because it's the first guy she's met outside of her village, ever. She's 18 or however old at that point. Then there is a countess who has her carriage basically flip over in this area. So he also has to help them out, and he houses them. When the countess enters the house, she freezes and looks at him like, "Oh, it's you." So that's quite nice. You get a bit of a mystery with it. And
there's a countess in these books as well.
Yes. And she is our Madeline's best friend, essentially, throughout parts of this. She is more of a motherly figure, but she does call her best friend.
Okay.
In that. She dies. She gets stabbed. But she was supposed to basically help teach Madeline, just educate her, because she's not getting much education in this small town. But she goes off with the countess, leaves her father behind to kind of take care of the cottage. And she lives with the countess and some of the other people there, the servants, and some other young women that are around. And that's where, I find the book starts getting a bit more interesting. The countess goes out to pray at, the local... What is it? The crypt, basically, where I think her husband's buried. And, essentially something happened that she got really depressed because a song reminded of her dead husband.
Okay.
She goes out there to pray, and then she gets stabbed by ruffians.
Oh, no.
Which is terribly sad. Yeah, in the crypt. So, what's interesting, though, is that after she gets stabbed, one of the servants says, actually we can't say anything about who these people are, because I think I recognize some of them. The Countess is still alive after getting stabbed for maybe a day or so, and also says, we're not going to say who this is. That stabbed me and tried killing me. Okay, that's strange. You should probably tell us so we could stop any more from happening.
You would think, yeah.
You'd hope. So her daughter comes because she hears that her mother's dying, obviously. The daughter also gets along really well with Madeline. This is Madame d'Alembert. And so, essentially, she sees her mother's dead, grieving, and Madeline's the only person who's really there to help her. Then she realizes that her husband's coming, Monsieur d'Alembert. Right. I'm skipping over a lot of the first volume because it is her talking with Savini, the Chevalier, and so the author for this is Regina Maria Roche. I don't think she can write romance very well because it's essentially just two people talking to each other, saying that they like each other, and then not doing anything about it and saying, "Oh no, we can't be together." But you just said you like me.
But you both said you like me. Happens a lot of these old books where there's reasons to not be together that we just wouldn't have anymore.
It's 50 pages of that. And I'm go away. I hate this.
You hate that stuff.
I really, really hate it. At least you have the stuff with the Countess and all that. Once things get moving after the Countess dies, you don't see him again until the end of the book, for the most part. So I'm really glad about that, actually.
Okay.
Because so much goes on. After that, Monsieur d'Alembert comes. And
sorry.
And so much happens. Oh my god. Basically, what happens next is Madame d'Alembert says, "Right, my husband's coming. Please actually hide yourself in this shack, behind the mansion, behind the castle and all that, because I'm afraid that he will fall in love with you."
Okay.
I was thinking that she was a villain, just because it's well, you can go home to see your father, but you're going to break my heart because of how, I just want you around, so I will visit you all the time, but I need to keep you locked away.
In the normal way.
In the normal way. So that is insane to me. But she turns out to actually be a good person. But while she's locked away, this is where, you see the gothic elements that we see today come into effect. She's in her room, and at some point, a man, a large brimmed hat, walks out of her closet.
And she didn't put him in there?
No. He just walks out of the closet, looks at her, and then someone comes to the door, and then he goes back in rushing. And she's obviously freaking out.
Of course.
This happens a few times. There's a time later where...
check your closets before you go to sleep.
Where essentially, they're talking about a killer, and out behind a tapestry, an arm comes out and points at one of the people in the room. And I'm that is fantastic.
These old mansions seem these old castles would have hidden doors behind tapestries and things.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. I love that stuff, of course.
It's so good. So essentially, she does leave, goes back to her father, and that takes us to the second half of the novel, where they end up going to... They have to go through one other castle while they come back, because they're out in the forests and need a place to stay. They find out that is her grandfather's castle.
Okay.
More or less, they find out slightly later. Because she dropped her father's picture, and the Marquis picks it up, and it's I know this person. It's my son. So they go to that castle, and then you get the worst part of the book, where you learn about the father's history, essentially. You'd think it would be really interesting. He was a count. There you go. That'd be good. But you learn about his family and all of his parents. So not just the Marquis and the Marquis' wife. Now the Marquis' wife is also called Madeline.
Okay.
So that's confusing.
Confusing a little bit, yeah.
Yes. Also, you have him, I think he was also Count St. Julian at the time. But then Clermont, his name is St. Julian. Yeah. You also have two d'Alemberts later.
Okay. Why?
Because that's their family name. I got so confused in parts of this. So... the short summary is that the family's lives sucked. There you go. And essentially just getting to the last volume, you learn essentially... Oh my god, so much happens in the last volume.
So So, okay, you said it seemed like the first volume was going a bit slow and stuff, but it seems like it's maybe ramping up a bit as it goes along.
So much in the second half, for sure. In the first bit, it's like, oh, these are nice characters. I want to get to know them and learn more about them. It's like, all right, let's get the romance out of there. Now, get a plot moving.
Yeah.
So it works really well with that. Skip everything about Clermont's past. I really don't care. But essentially, I'm just going to read from the back here. A sinister stranger, this is D'Alembert essentially, threatens to reveal the bloody truth of Clermont's past unless Madeline marries him. Can she avoid the snares of her wily pursuers, solve the mystery of her father's past, and win the love of her dear de Savigny?
Okay.
And that's essentially how it is. They find out that the father has stabbed his brother because he thought his brother was basically having sex with his wife.
Fair enough.
That didn't happen, of course. He was actually married to his wife's sister and had a baby with them, a son, which is interesting. And so he is stabbed, looks like he died, but they never find the body. So that's interesting. This is where everything starts coming together, and it's like, yeah. So D'Alembert knows that Clermont stabbed the brother. It's because he put him up to it. Essentially, he had people in another room talk about the cheating going on and made it all up for him to stab. And
suggestion.
Because D'Alembert wants to take all the money.
Of course,
D'Alembert the elder was planning all this, but the son is also terrible because he essentially tries to kill his. Well, he kills some servants at the countess's place and attempts essentially to kill his wife too because he wants to replace her with Madeline.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's an awful person. One of the butlers, of course the butler did it, sends Madeline to a place to try to escape because there's worry like the grandfather's going to kill Clermont for, killing the brother.
Yeah.
When he finds that out. So it turns out that that's not a safe place to be. It's actually a place to get him captured. What they did with Clermont after he escaped is ruffians caught him and then got him high on opium. And really, really rough there.
I have a confusion about the idea that the grandfather might kill him. So if I have two children, I don't want them to die.
Yes.
If one kills the other, I'm like -1 child. If I then kill the first one, I'm -2 children.
Yes.
So I wouldn't want that.
I also don't think that's what happened. It's because the intermediary was basically a spy for D'Alembert.
Okay.
So he just made it up, I think.
Don't kill your kids.
Yes. Eventually, de Savigny the Chevalier finds the place where they're at and saves them. And the last chapter is basically like, well, here's all the things that happened behind the scenes. So the brother doesn't seem to be dead. And Savigny is the son of Savigny.
Is a lot of stuff happening in the Spooky Castle?
They go from place to place.
Sounded that right.
In the first castle, it's only when you get to like that crypt where the deaths happen, and then also the shack where she's being kept, that things start getting creepy. Then there's a little bit at the second castle where you have D'Alembert hiding behind the tapestries a lot.
And walking out of wardrobes, is that also him?
So the first one was his son that walked out of the wardrobe.
Okay. But I guess what I'm asking is, it's not like Ghost or something. There's not like a supernatural element to this.
No.
Okay.
But you think it could be... I was thinking it could be in her mind. Like, is she going crazy?
Sure, that would also work, yeah. So, is this sounds like it's not excessively gothic. They just have a bit of a castle and a crypt, and then they tell a good story.
There's still enough threat to it, because you feel safety, and then, oh no, something terrible is happening. Then a bit of safety, and then, no, this is...
So they keep the tension on.
The tension is there throughout the rest of the, like... After the 25% mark.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So the tension is definitely there.
I'll do this.
Yeah, it does get a yeah, of course. Just, please write better romance, and skip everything with the father's past. I don't need to know about how he found his wife and this stuff.
Yeah, these types of old books always give you a bit too much. How long is it?
Yeah, it's about 400 pages and kind of a smaller print.
Yeah, so you could cut a little bit.
I enjoyed it, but it was a slog.
Okay.
I had to read like 20 pages at a time and put it down, take a small break, because it's not an easy read at all. So you got to take that into account. That's why I can't say it's a great book.
Is it?
It's just a good